Good morning, dear children. I hope you are well, staying safe and healthy. Today is 26th of April and the day is Monday. This is your Journal Science video lesson. Today we are going to start a new unit, that is Matter and the Water Cycle. It's on page number 60 to 65 of your Journal Science books. Please take out your books. Let's get started. The first topic is matter. Everything around us is made up of particles known as matter. Anything that has mass and takes up space is known as matter. आपको इर्द गिर्द जितनी भी चीज़ें नज़र आती हैं ये पार्टिकल से मिलके बनती हैं जिनको हम मैटर बोलते हैं. ठीक है, कोई भी चीज़ जिसका वज़न हो और जो जगह लेती हो उसको मैटर कहते हैं. इवन यू टू आर मेड अप ऑफ मैटर. नाउ देयर आर थ्री नोन स्टेट्स ऑफ मैटर. You are already familiar with these three states. What are these? Solid, liquid, and gas. Let's begin with solids. A solid has a definite shape. Look at this block of wood. It has a definite shape. You cannot change the shape of this block. Now look at the eraser. See, this eraser maintains the same shape. Whether you keep it in your pencil box or on a desk, it would remain as it is. Now look at the tissue paper. All these examples are of the solid state of matter. Now let's come to liquid. What's that? It changes its shape when you change the container. It does not have a definite shape. See, when you pour juice into a glass from a bottle, what happens? It will take the shape of the glass. At first it was having the shape of the bottle. Now when you are pouring it in the glass, it will change, or it will take the shape of the glass. Now it has a definite volume, which means it takes up the same space no matter whether you keep this in a jug or in a bottle. It would take the same space. एक ही जितनी जगह लेगा अगर आप उस लिक्विड को जग में डाल दो या कि बॉटल में डाल दो. Now water, honey and the blood in your body are all examples of the liquid state of matter. Now let's come to gas. Gas has no definite shape. It changes its shape when you put it in another container. See? Air inside a balloon, and when you pump air into a shopping bag or a beach ball, it will take the shape of these objects. It has no definite volume. If you blow air into a balloon, it will spread throughout the space. What does this mean? Air in the balloon and bubbles in the boiling water, these are all examples of the gaseous state of matter. Now let's compare these states of matter. See, these solids, liquids and gases, they are different from each other. Why do solids have a definite shape but not liquids and gas? Why? It is because of the arrangement of the particles in the different states of matter. Okay, and you cannot see these particles with an ordinary microscope. They are too small. Now let's see the arrangement in the solid. The particles are, see, they are tightly packed. It means, see, there is a very little space between these particles, and these solids cannot be compressed easily. Now you see, these particles, they do not move from place to place because there is very less space between them. Now look at the particles in a liquid. They are arranged in an irregular pattern. This means there is not much space between them. इनके बीच में जगह है लेकिन बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं है. They can vibrate, they move about, they slide past each other, but still they are difficult to compress. Now look at the particles in a gas. See, they can move freely at a very high speed. Why? Because they are far apart from each other. एक दूसरे से इसके particles काफ़ी दूर होते हैं, and they are easily compressible. Now let's come to the changes of state. What's that? You can change the state of any matter by heating it or by cooling it. Now look at the first picture. Solid है, cubes है, ice cubes है. अगर आप उनको melt करोगे वो liquid में change हो जाएंगे. फिर जब आप उनको heat up करोगे वो liquid evaporate होके gas बन जाएगा. ठीक है? This is how you can change the state of the matter. Now what is melting? When a solid changes into a liquid, this is called melting. अगर आप ice cubes को गर्म करते हो या बाहर थोड़ी देर के लिए रख देते हो, वो पिघल जाएगी, पानी बन जाएगी. That is known as melting. What is freezing? When water changes into ice. When you keep water some time in the freezer, what happens? It would change into ice. This is known as freezing. And the next one is, what is condensation? When you put ice cubes into a glass of water, अगर आप आइस क्यूब्स डालते हो ग्लास में और थोड़ी देर के लिए ग्लास को छोड़ देते हो रूम टेम्परेचर पे, व्हाट हैपन्स इज यू वुड सी टाइनी ड्रॉपलेट्स ऑन द आउटसाइड सरफेस ऑफ द ग्लास। आपको बाहर वाली सरफेस पे पानी नज़र आने लगेगा। दिस इज़ कंडेंसेशन। ओके, ये कहाँ से आए हैं? ये क्या होता है कि गैस जो है वो लिक्विड में चेंज हो रही होती है। नाउ व्हाट इज़ इवेपोरेशन? See, when the sun heats up the water, what happens is this water slowly disappears. It moves into the air. गैस बन के हवा में चला जाएगा, evaporate हो जाएगा। तो this is known as evaporation. Now what is sublimation? When a solid changes into a gas without becoming a liquid. जब solid liquid में change होने से पहले ही गैस में direct change हो जाता है, इसको sublimation बोलते हैं। Now what's water cycle? Let's discuss water cycle. Now look at this diagram. Look at this arrow that's on the right side of this diagram. See what happens? Sunshine heats up water and makes it evaporate. सबसे पहले sunlight पानी पे पड़ रही है और ये पानी जो है evaporate हो रहा है, ठीक है? गर्म होके पानी evaporate होता है. Then what happens? The water vapors they rises up into the atmosphere. ठीक है, सनलाइट पानी पे पड़ी, अब पानी इवेपोरेट हुआ, इवेपोरेट होके कहाँ चला गया? एटमॉस्फेयर में चला गया। फिर क्या होता है? थर्ड पॉइंट क्या है इसका कि व्हेन दीज वाटर वेपर्स दे रीच द कोल्डर अपर लेयर्स ऑफ द एटमॉस्फेयर, तो वहाँ पे जाके क्या होता है? ये पानी, ये ड्रॉपलेट्स बन जाते हैं, ठीक है? एंड दीज ऑल ड्रॉपलेट्स दे ग्रुप टुगेदर एंड फॉर्म क्लाउड्स। वहाँ जाके क्लाउड्स बना लेते हैं। फिर जब ये क्लाउड्स मूव करते हैं तो ये सारे ड्रॉपलेट्स दे जॉइन टुगेदर एंड दे फॉर्म बिगर ड्रॉप्स। फिर बड़े ड्रॉप्स बनाते हैं, फिर ये हैवी हो जाते हैं और ये ज़मीन पे गिरते हैं बारिश की फॉर्म में, ठीक है? फिर जब ये बारिश गिरती है स्ट्रीम्स में और रिवर्स में, पानी कलेक्ट होता है और ये सारा पानी जाता है सी में, ठीक है? इस तरह क्या होता है कि द वाटर साइकिल बिगिंस अगेन। वो सारा पानी समुंदर में जमा हो जाता है, फिर दोबारा सनलाइट हीट अप करती है उस पानी को, फिर इवेपोरेट होता है, फिर वो सारा प्रोसेस कंटिन्यू होता है। एंड दिस इज़ known as the water cycle and it is recycled over and over again. Now let's come to reversible and irreversible changes. What's that? A reversible change is that can go forward or backward. Okay, this is not a permanent change. आप इसको वापस अपनी ओरिजिनल फॉर्म में ला सकते हो रिवर्सिबल चेंजेस को। लुक एट दिस एग्जाम्पल, लुक एट दिस फोल्डेड पेपर, दिस इज़ अ रिवर्सिबल चेंज। अगर आप इसको अनफोल्ड करके इसको आप वापस अपनी ओरिजिनल शेप में ले आओगे, दैट्स अ रिवर्सिबल चेंज। नाउ लुक एट दिस, आइस टर्निंग इनटू वाटर। व्हेन you can change this solid ice, and when you melt it, it changes back to water. Okay, now look at this chocolate. When you heat it up, what happens? It would melt, but then you can again change it back to its original shape. Look at the example of an ice cream. This is also a reversible change. Now what's an irreversible change? A change that cannot go backward. Okay, it's a permanent change, and this change produces a completely new material. Look at this. Once you sharpen a pencil, एक दफ़ा आपने पेंसिल को शार्प कर दिया, आप वापस उसको उसकी ओरिजिनल शेप में नहीं ला सकते। लुक, बर्निंग ऑफ वुड, एक बार आपने आग जला दी, दोबारा आप उसको वुड को वापस उसकी ओरिजिनल शेप में नहीं ला सकते। लुक एट दिस, टोस्टिंग ऑफ ब्रेड, व्हाट्स दैट? एक बार आपने ब्रेड को टोस्ट कर दिया, आप उसको वापस उसकी ओरिजिनल शेप में नहीं ला सकते। सो दीज आर ऑल एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ इररिवर्सिबल चेंजेस। ओके, so that's all for today. After reading this chapter, you have to do exercise of this unit, that's on page number 60 and 67. You have to do choose the correct answers, fill in the blanks, and match the columns with pencils on your books. That's all for today. Have a good day. Allah Hafiz.